And we're going live.
All right.
All right, we're live. Hi, folks.
Fantastic.
If you don't know already, my name's Kevin G Nicholson, and I'm the host of this YouTube channel. And today we're going to be talking to another YouTube creator whom I admire and who's awesome, Justice. Justice, are you ready to start with the line of questioning?
Yeah, I'm ready to be interrogated.
Okay, the interrogation begins now. Let me turn that off there. Uh, the first question is, what led you to starting a YouTube channel in the first place? What got you involved?
Well, years back in 2013, the YouTube landscape was pretty different back then.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this is before I don't know what else to say. Like the Me Too movement, all that jazz. I don't know. Like all the stuff where the cultural shift changed and a lot of stuff became politically driven on YouTube.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I had a friend. I still have a friend. He exists still.
He's
He's
still
not gone.
he's still alive.
Yeah, but my friend Walter, who you'd see in the very earliest videos, I mean like the really early ones, and I
The Walmart
formed a channel
videos?
together. Yeah, and we just did it for the fun of it. We wanted to make goofy videos, things that we thought would be enjoyable. And so like our earliest videos, some of them weren't even filmed in like the 16 by 9 that a typical video would be. It was like 9 by 16 because I was just holding my phone straight up. And we'd like go to Walmart and goof off, things like that. So forming the channel was just purely to goof off with a friend and just start making content. But that was 11 years ago. That's been a while. That's been a while. So like my motives behind YouTube have remained generally the same, but I have like formed a few other goals along the road too, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, when you started, at what point did you go, "Oh, this might be a possibility as an actual career"? Because you're, if I'm correct, you're monetized, right?
I am. I'm actually grandfathered in. I'd still be able to be monetized, but back then it was probably like one of the high points for monetizing your channel. You could do it regardless of your subscriber count. So I actually monetized the channel right away, and we were only making like a few pennies off every video, something like that. Sometimes not even like a penny off a single video, because the ad revenue also wasn't as good back then either. But I realized pretty much immediately that you had the potential to make money off of it. So even while Walter was still involved, we were trying to get our name out there, and we actually had a video hit a few thousand views, but sadly it was right before we monetized the channel, so no ad revenue came from it.
Aw.
But that was one of the earlier goals too, was to not necessarily make a career off of it, but make some money off it so that we could take it and pour it back into the channel, like get equipment, maybe justify paying editors, things like that.
All right, let's move forward. So, what things have you been surprised to learn while growing your channel?
I been surprised to learn about communities, how different they can be. I've dipped into multiple communities over the years because I've tried different niches now and then, and they vary so greatly. Like the community that I've come to find now that I just kind of shifted to focusing on comedy content, um, is generally a pretty positive one. I get some fun comments, you included. Leave really great comments for me to check out, and I really enjoy what people respond with when I come out with something new. So long as it's comedically driven, I could really make just about anything, and the same people tend to enjoy watching it. But the communities that I've interacted with in the past, some of them have been pretty positive, some of them have been something else. I I know that in my previous stint, like probably 2015 era, somewhere around there, I was making mobile gaming content, and particularly a game called Lords Mobile. It was very fun. The community was great at the time. I loved the community. I loved playing the game. It was very similar to a game that I had played long before that called Ebony. Now, Ebony was an online real-time strategy game. You had some castles. You had to protect your castles with your armies.
I used to play that game.
Mobile was kind of like a mobile version of that. A little more simplified, but it kind of satisfied the itch that I was trying to do. I didn't initially make YouTube videos doing it, but then one day I decided, well, I had made a few gaming videos before. This is a pretty simple mobile game. I think that my devices can handle recording, like screen recording. I'll give it a try. And I gained traction like overnight. It was nuts how quickly I gained people. But the problem with that community, and this is the thing that surprised me, going back to your question, is when I tried to branch out, like I continued making that content, but I also tried to make other content, it was negativity. Everything was negative. It became very toxic. Again, pretty much overnight. Instantly, the community turned on me.
Ooh.
They wanted nothing but Lords Mobile content. It actually was bad enough that when I did come back, I took the time to unlist about 600 some Lords Mobile videos. I unlisted them instead of privating them so that people could still go and watch them through my playlist if they want. But it wasn't something I wanted to just be visible anymore, just if people were browsing and browse features, stuff like that. Because even to this day, I still lose, I want to say, a subscriber a day on average from people that had subscribed to me for stuff like that. Like people that see one of my current videos pop up on my browse features and they just immediately unsubscribe now. And that's one of the things that was really surprising to me, is that you can get a lot of pushback if you don't stick with certain videos when you have certain communities coming after you. Like, if you are making videos and they're following you because of the kind of videos you're making and not because of you. And because of that, when I came back, I tried my best to make the content I'm making now something that's having people interested in me. That's why everything is comedically driven, but could be anything. That way I know if they are watching all those videos, it's because they're watching me be funny, not because of this specific topic at hand. And that I've not quite gotten down yet. It's hit or miss. Sometimes I do have a video that struggles to even cross 10 views, but a lot of times now I'm getting them in the hundreds. A couple have even crossed over 1,000. And for someone that is just still losing about a subscriber a day, I'm gaining subscribers. Like it's offset, and now I'm gaining enough subscribers that it's putting me back into the positives. But for someone that's still bleeding subscribers, essentially, it's made all the difference. So it was surprising, but I think I managed to adapt a little bit to it, if that makes sense.
It does. And if I could ask a couple of follow-up questions that go with that.
Okay.
I've been, I don't know if you do the same thing, but I tend to look at the how to grow your YouTube channel videos and the vidIQ videos and stuff like that. And one of the big things that they talk about is staying in your niche or niching down. Although in the last month or so, they seem to have kind of backtracked and so become your niche rather than niching down, which you appear to be trying to do, and which I am kind of reaching on to because my channel's all over the place. I have unboxing, I have comedic, I have reviews, I have just things that interest me at the time. And so I don't have a dedicated following in that regard. So are the channels, would you consider yourself as you are trying to be your own niche at this point? Is that correct?
a very different approach to YouTube this time around. Back in that Lord's mobile video creation era, I was actively trying to get it to be a career, or at least a pretty good side income. When I came back this time, I decided, you know what happens, happens. And I kind of adopted a similar mindset to what Moist Critical does. Charlie White, have you ever watched his channel?
I have not.
At all?
Moist Critical.
Zero.
Nope, I've never seen Moist Critical.
I highly recommend him. He's a very chill guy. He's one of the YouTubers that I think's pretty genuine. He's actually been on the platform longer than I have, even. But he's highly successful. He's actually an exception to the rule, it seems like. You look at his thumbnails, they're very low effort. 80% of them are just his face, like at his cam, because he was talking to his cam, and he just takes a screen grab from the video he recorded and just pops it down there. Heck, he probably actually uploads the video, and then like the pre-selected options, he probably just selects one of those and goes with it. And that's what he does a lot of. It's not high effort stuff. He's an interesting guy, and he's very charismatic, so he keeps your attention that way. But when it comes to video editing and things like that, he doesn't put a lot of effort into it. But the guy has millions of subscribers and garners millions of views on every single video. And I think a lot of it is because people have come to follow him just for him. Whatever he puts out, it doesn't matter what the topic is that he's discussing or anything, they just enjoy him. And he likewise just enjoys making videos. He's not worried about how much money he's going to make doing it or anything like that. Frankly, if he made $0, which a lot of his videos are demonetized because he uses profanities quite often in them, he doesn't care. Like, the money isn't really the factor that he cares about. And he's fortunate enough to have a career off it, and he is happy about that. But he was fully prepared to be making videos without that being a career. Like, just something that he continued to do for fun. And that's kind of what I'm at right now. Yes, I'd say that I'm more turning, what was it, myself into the niche?
Yes.
Or, yeah, I would say I'm more like that. I know that is becoming more of a popular thing, too. There are more people that are just being a bit more open. I think that there's a bit of a pushback from, I think we're at the end of a current era of YouTube, like the era where there's that cultural pushback towards the edgier things, you know, like the iDubbbz and Filthy Frank days, things like that. I think that people are now starting to push back and kind of push away the groups that just made politics and everything their entire channel, and people that are just making videos because they genuinely enjoy it, I think are starting to get a little more limelight. And so people like Critical are popping up a little bit more. He's been around very long time, but I've been noticing some other people who have popped up recently that are doing really well. They don't have to do a lot. They're just being genuine. They're just enjoying themselves, and it's reflecting really well in their videos.
See, and that's fascinating to me, because I agree. I've seen the same shift, and even YouTube has said that they see the same shift to where that's one of the reasons they're doing the vertical format live streaming, because there's no bells and whistles. It's just a person, and you.
Oh, true.
It's so it's the personality that will bring someone in, rather than all the Mr. Beast, you know, high tension edits, high retention editing, which I do attempt to do. I do try to high retention edit, but in live streaming, whether it's horizontal or vertical, like, I don't go back and edit into my live streams in either format, and it seems to be picking back up. And here's hoping that it keeps holding. But all right, let me ask you the final question, and then we can riff a little bit. Where do you feel your channel is leaning towards in regards to the content, and are there any trends or ideas that you currently stay away from? Is there something that's like off limits for you, or are you still kind of experimenting with all sorts of different stuff?
Oh, okay. I'll answer part two, and then I'll probably ask you to repeat part one to me.
Okay.
Because I need a moment to think on that one. But part two, again, bringing up the political stuff, I'm staying away from politics. I don't really care about that stuff. I had my heyday of being back on Facebook, looking at comments and arguing with 50, 60-year-old dudes that barely understand the internet, and having my fun with all that. There's people that are politically driven, and then there's me. I'm not politically driven about anything anymore. I've kind of shifted away from a lot of stuff. For me, jokes are just jokes. A lot of things I don't necessarily see as off bounds. So even if there's something that I don't particularly enjoy, I don't go off the deep end and make rants about it, anything like that. I just kind of move on now. Like it is what it is, you know? That's the philosophy that I'm kind of putting up when it comes to videos. So politics, I would say I'm definitely steering clear from at the moment. There are other things that I'm kind of steering clear of just because I don't have the means to do it right now. But down the road, I definitely want to.
For example?
One being, I want to make a few skits again.
Ah.
A little while back, like years ago, you'll have to find them submerged in my channel if you want to see them. But one video I made in particular was called First World Problems. And it was just a little sketch where I had very small inconveniences happen to me, and I acted like they were the worst things in the world. Like I was suffering more than anyone else. One of which was I had a little packet of creamer. When I went to make my coffee, I accidentally knocked it on the ground, and so then I didn't have my creamer anymore. And I sat there at the camera crying and stuff like that. And they also had like little built-in jokes that you have to pay attention to. Like, there's one bit where I am writing on a piece of paper. I hate it when the lead on my pencil breaks. And as I'm writing the word breaks, the lead breaks. But it's like a very quick thing. Like the camera jumps up at it, and if you aren't paying really close attention, you wouldn't have caught that little detail. But like the little jokes built into the skit that may not be caught the first time, I really enjoy as well. Skits are something that I definitely want to return to. I've worked out a couple of outlines. I'd be happy to tell you one of the ones I plan on making probably the soonest, if you'd be interested in hearing.
Yes, please do.
Preview.
Please do.
All right. Now I'm gonna ask you something that I'm sure you'll have heard of. Unlike Charlie White, I'm sure you've heard of Star Wars.
Star Wars? Yes, I have heard of Star Wars.
Yeah. Good. So we're on the same page then. So, in the universe of Star Wars, one thing I've always thought was just silly, and I'm not dogging on it at all. I want to make that perfectly clear to everyone that ever listens to this. I love the goofiness that pops up in Star Wars, whether it be absolute plot holes, continuity errors, whatever. I find them as part of the charm to Star Wars. One of the things that I really always get a little chuckle at is when people in the Star Wars universe just understand the complete gibberish that comes out of like some droid or some alien's mouth. Like when Chewbacca does his little groans and everyone just understands him. And when droids just go and that's just, everyone knows what that droid just said. Everyone knows. They're just like, oh yes, of course, we have to activate the shields. Thank you, R2-D2. It cracks me up. And so I kind of wanted to make it more on the nose. So it'd be something along the lines of Star Wars logic conversations. And it would be one person having a conversation, and the other person involved in the conversation just screams bloody murder. Like one person goes, "Hey, how are you doing today?" And the other person goes, "Ah!" And they're just yelling. That's it. That's all. That's how they always respond. It goes back to the first person, and it's just like, "Yeah, I'm doing pretty well too." And you're right. It is a pretty sunny day out today. You should probably go for a walk or something. Then they go for a walk. They're outside, and it's just like, it's a bit windy today. Goes to the other person, "Ah!" And then goes back to the first person. Just so on and so forth. Little skits like that are things that I find to be pretty interesting. But for now, I don't really have the means to do it at the quality level that I want to. So I'm technically staying away from it. But it is in the back burner. It's something I want to do. What was the first part of that question again, though?
Well, where do you feel your channel is leaning to in regards to the content?
Okay. More of what's currently going. However, slowly creeping into higher production quality to it. So today, actually about 30 minutes from now, my new video comes out, and it's me struggling to build a Lego Atari set. And it's a fun time, really funny stuff. It took a while to record, and it took a long time to edit compared to like my weekly chat videos, stuff like that. And it's going to be a multi-parter. I'm going to have to record more parts to it. And it's stuff like that. Things that are going to be higher effort videos that will hopefully garner more viewership because of just the quality that's built around it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm anxious to actually take a look at it after we're done with the stream. So I'll be in the premiere because I'm curious.
It'll be a decently long one. I can't remember what the exact runtime was. I want to say it was around 35 minutes, something like that.
Wow.
So it's one of my longest videos, and that is with me speeding up the dead points in the video where I'm not really talking. I talked a lot more while I was building it than I thought I would, and it flowed pretty naturally. It worked out really well. Another thing that I'm trying to lean more back into is more gaming content. Like I used to only do gaming content. So when the channel first started, we made weird random videos, shooting Nerf guns, goofing off in Walmart, stuff like that. That's what Walter and myself did. And then it shifted towards gaming Let's Plays. During the Let's Play era, like when PewDiePie was starting to get really big and everyone had Let's Play in their title. So I was playing what I could play. I didn't have a great computer or anything like that, so I was using emulators, and I was playing N64 and Game Boy games. So I played Ocarina of Time, and I played Pokemon Emerald. They were not very well-made games. I did not have it down yet, but there was a time where all I was doing was gaming videos. Now I'm trying to return a bit more to that. Like I just recorded a video today, actually. Today's been a big day for making content.
Yay.
Kevin, a lot of content's coming, bud.
That's right.
For it. But I was struggling to figure out what to play because, again, I mentioned this off stream. I didn't mention it on stream. I live in the middle of the freaking woods, and I don't have good internet. So I wasn't able to hop onto the Helldivers 2 trend. I would have absolutely done it. It was the most patriotic game that's come out all year. I would have been all over that. I'm a red-blooded American. I would have loved to play Helldivers 2, but I couldn't. So I gotta live with it. I booted up Halo, the Master Chief Collection.
All right.
And I remembered that I had downloaded Cursed Halo. And I played some of that, and it was so much fun. And I ended up recording it, and I think I got a lot of good stuff to make that into another one-shot wonder video. And I think it'll be a good one. Have you ever played a Halo game?
I have.
Okay. There's a guy, I name drop a lot of channels. I love YouTube. I love exploring different channels, showing people fun videos that I've seen. So here's another one, Inferno Plus.
In-
He is a heck of a programmer, and he mods games. The two big things that he messes around with are Halo and Dark Souls. And he's made insanely comprehensive mods for those games. And for this one, it's Halo Combat Evolved. It's called Cursed Halo. And it changes so many aspects to it. Oh my gosh, like the frag grenade, for example, becomes a frag D20. So when you throw it, it goes through a predetermined like list. Not predetermined, that's not the right word. It rolls. It like does a random roll from a list.
Okay.
And selects one of them, and that's what happens with the grenade. And it could be, I think, some like rave possum pops out or something like that, and just like rave music plays.
Wait, a rave possum?
Forms? Yeah. Instead of a grenade explosion, some like little like color spectrum possum pops out, spins in a circle while rave music is playing. Or maybe it's a beaver or something like that. It's an animal. Another one is like an entire forest will form, like 20 trees will pop out of the grenade and just be there. Another one is a honest to God nuke will just go off and then everything on the map will die. Or nothing will happen. A lot of stuff will happen. Like there's a lot of things that can happen just from that one single grenade. It's goofy. The guns are insane. The sniper rifle I tried to use, it registered on the screen, it said no internet. And I was like, what does that mean? And I went to fire it, and it gave me that little buffering circle. Just popped up on my screen where the crosshair was, and it sat there for like 2 seconds, and then the gun shot. The gun finally fired after that. So it was great, but it was really delayed. The grunts were running around with little plasma pistols that shot pee instead of plasma. It's such goofy stuff. I shot a gun, and I didn't know what it was doing. It like killed the one enemy I was going after, so I was like, oh heck yeah, this is a really strong gun. I shot it like 3-4 more times, and then I found out that after it shoots, like a tiny amount of time passes, it will start infinitely ricocheting. It will infinitely ricochet. It'll never go away. And so I had shot like 5 or 6 of those things, and they're moving lightning fast around the entire screen. And I had to like sprint through it. I was getting shot constantly by my own bullets because I sat there and waited, and it seemed like it was even multiplying. Like eventually one bullet turned into 2, and it never stopped. And it was absolute chaos, complete mayhem. It was a lot of fun. And so things like that I really want to do. I want to do more fun games. And once I have better internet at home and the means to do it, I'm absolutely going to start getting together with friends again and making gaming content with friends, because that garners views. And it's a lot of fun. You have a fun time. The viewers have a fun time. Your friends have a fun time. I hope my friends have a fun time playing games with me. If not,
why are they doing it?
say something.
All right, may I ask you a personal question?
Oh, it depends on the question.
Okay, well let me shoot it out there, and you can tell how personal it is. What computer? What's your computer speed? What are the specs for the computer you're using, and what are you editing with? What program are you editing with?
Oh, I don't remember what the specs of the computer are exactly. I know it's a Lenovo Y740, like a Lenovo Legion.
Well, you know that.
I think that it was a laptop. It was a gaming laptop from 2019, I want to say, and I got it. When did I get it? I think I got it in 2020. Because they were being replaced by a new line, so I got it on clearance. And it's got a GTX 2060 in it, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
That's about all I know about it. off the top of my head. That's a tough one. But I only really use it when I'm recording certain gaming videos. I don't edit on it. I do the editing on my phone.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, and I know they just came out with the 24s. I feel like freaking Harry Potter when the Nimbus 2001s came out. I don't have the shiny newest toy anymore, but it's a powerful piece of hardware. This thing is, I love it, and you might not even believe the editing software that I use, because I used to use KineMaster. It had like a $40 annual fee or something like that, and then one year, probably about a year ago actually, they upped their annual fee up to like $120.
Ow. Ouch.
And I said, no, like, I'm making these videos for fun, first off. Sure, I'll pay $40 for an entire year. It feels worth it to me. But you're going to triple the price in one go? No.
Nah.
I'm sorry, I'm not doing that for a mobile editing app.
I'm
It
out.
doesn't have nearly as many features as some of the free ones that were on desktop. And if need be, I could just use the laptop for it. I like to edit when I'm on the go. Like maybe I'm on my lunch break at work or something like that. I could pull on my phone, just edit a little bit, and then get it done as I get it done. So I started looking around, and I actually downloaded CapCut. Have you heard of CapCut?
I have heard of CapCut. I haven't used it yet, but I've heard good things.
It's made by the same people that made TikTok, I think. They're directly tied into each other, especially. I know when I like edit a short video, it'll ask me if I want to directly upload it to TikTok. So I hope it's not part of the TikTok ban like discussions that constantly go on, because if CapCut gets banned too, that's gonna suck for my editing.
Wow.
I've come to really enjoy it. CapCut, it's pretty dang good. Every once in a while, it'll get a little choppy with like its performance if I'm doing a lot. Like, I think at one point I had 3 videos going on at once. I know when I did the Rooster Teeth video recently, and I did that like little montage for Red versus Blue at the end, there were like 6 or 7 videos on screen at once at one point. And then when I was editing it, the editor itself got a little choppy because I just had so much going on at once. But aside from that, it does pretty well. Like the Lego video, I had 2 screens. I had the actual feed of the Legos I was building, and then I had a camera directly on my face, and overlaying them on top of each other. It didn't give me any issues whatsoever. It's great, and I mean I had the Lego video at 4K. I had the video on my face at 1080p, and it was processing both of them without any issue through the editor. It does a great job. And so most of what I do is on my phone. Actually, that little gaming video I spontaneously released on Monday was completely recorded on my phone too.
Well, it sounds like you have a mastery over all this stuff, and I'm looking forward. You said the Lego video is coming up in 20 minutes, right?
Yep, so 20 minutes.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I'm very curious. As you know, I've been following your channel for months, and I've really been enjoying the content. Are there any plugs you want to give, or anything you want to say to the audience that will come after this stream?
Oh man, I mean, just my channel, Bonticune.
Bonticune.
I don't know if do you have it on the screen? I can't see the screen.
No, I don't have it on the screen.
Oh, okay, it's Bonticune, Bonticune. That is my name on pretty much every platform. So you can find me on Twitter. I barely use Twitter, but I use it a little bit, and I'm on TikTok as well, and all of it's just Bonticune.
Now,
Super easy to find me.
Before I close this out, actually, I want to ask you about that. What does the name mean?
Oh, I'm really glad you asked. So Bonticune is actually a purposeful misspelling of a character in an anime. The anime is called Full Metal Panic.
Okay.
However, it's from a spin-off series called Full Metal Panic Fumofu. In it, the main character, Sosuke Sagura, who is an orphan child that got picked up by a private military organization, and ended up getting tasked with protecting a girl that has like a special ability in a school in Tokyo, I think it was. He is not very socially driven because he's a war orphan, and he doesn't know social cues, anything like that. Goofy stuff ensues. So they made the spin-off series Full Metal Panic Fumofu, which is just a comedy series that takes place while he's in the school undercover trying to protect her. And in one of the episodes, he needs to like basically go all out for whatever reason, and he can't do that without giving up his identity. So what he does is he goes to this theme park mascot, which is a Bonticune, and he steals the costume. So picture like a football mascot, and that's kind of what that is. Like at that theme park, they have an equivalent to that, and he's hidden inside of this costume, beating people up, and it's funny stuff. And Full Metal Panic's my favorite anime, and so one day I just decided, you know what? Why don't I name it Bonticune? Like just my online character, because I used to have a whole bunch of random usernames online. When I made my first Xbox, like 360 gamer tag, it was loaded with X's and stuff like that because I thought all that stuff was cool. But eventually I changed it because I was like, let me try Bonticune. And I misspelled it on purpose because it's actually BONTA-KUN. And I decided that already is not a very well-known anime. I doubt that that'll be taken in most circumstances, but just to add an extra step to it, I'm just going to misspell it. So I misspelled the thing completely, and it's never taken. And so Bonticune is a name that I've used since even high school. I want to say I've used it for 12 or 13 years.
Wow. See, I'm glad I asked that question. That's fascinating, man.
Yeah, people don't ask that very often.
Well, it was very. I was almost positive I was mispronouncing it, but if it's misspelled to begin with, but no, see, this has been fascinating. But I know your video's releasing in 10 minutes, so I think it's probably a good time to close the stream. But really, I appreciate you taking the time and answering my questions. And do you have any advice for younger YouTubers or Ubers for YouTubers who are trying to aspire to our level, to the 1,000 mark?
Oh, geez. Now, for younger YouTubers out there, just don't be cringe, you know? Or just strictly be cringe. One or the other.
Pick a lane.
Don't be cringe or always be cringe. Both work.
All right, great advice. So that's Bonticune. Go look at his Lego video. Go check out his channel. And thank you, Justice. I really appreciate you taking the time. And
I'll be happy to be on some other time too.
we'll do this again. I'll end up texting you on the premiere in a little bit. Right now, I want to thank everybody who takes a look at this, and I appreciate it. We'll see you soon on Dr. Daydream. Thanks, folks. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.